Hey guys, Hans Borchard here. So I posted a video, or rather a photograph recently with my physical transformation that I did between March 17th and June 11th, where I lost 36 pounds in less than 90 days. I was going to post a diet video right after that, but I got a break from work. And I went to my parents in Alaska and I ate all this home-cooked food, sourdough pancakes for breakfast and a homemade rhubarb crisp from the garden and with vanilla ice cream, and I drank a bunch of craft beers and all that stuff. And I gained 16 pounds back in 5 weeks, so I felt like nobody wants to listen to a fat guy giving diet advice. And even now, I've only lost 8 of those pounds I gained, but I'm figured I'd give you this video now, and you can see a progress video a little bit later. But I wanted to get this out there because people are asking for it. So first of all, a little bit of a disclaimer: I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a fitness trainer or professional or a medical professional. I turn wrenches for a living. So anything I tell you, it's just my opinion. It's based on, the research I've done and my personal experience with trying this. Before you do any extreme diets or exercise programs, it's very important that you do your due diligence and talk to medical professionals or et cetera if you have any medical issues. So I just want to throw that disclaimer out there. The second thing I want to say is that while I'm giving you a fat loss program, and on a later video I'll give you my workout program, my muscle is something that I built slowly and steadily over many years. What I did in the 90-day window where I lost 36 pounds was I shredded fat. So, your personal results using this diet will depend on your genetics, your effort, and your musculature underneath. I think a lot of people can have success with this diet, but I'm not saying that you're gonna, look like me or whatever after doing it. So keep that in mind. But also, there are no secrets. This information's all out there on the internet. That's where I found it. I listened to cardiologists, gastric bypass surgeons, and fitness experts, and I compiled a program that I thought would be the most efficient way to lose weight. And I made some mistakes that I'll tell you about, but I do think that this staged progression is a very useful way to enter a diet program, because each stage is progressively harder than the next. And I think the amount of time you spend on each stage depends on your personal preferences, your goals, your physical state, and all that stuff. So I broke it up into pretty much even stages in a 90-day process. So let me tell you about the stages. So stage 1 is low carb, and what that means is you're cutting out all high glycemic carbs. So basically potatoes, rice, corn, anything with grains, which is like breads, pastas, cereals. You're cutting out sugar, sugared drinks, sugar in your coffee, sugared tea, honey, all that stuff. And you're replacing it with lower glycemic index carbs, which is like vegetables. So, pretty much I found that you can enjoy most of the meals you enjoy, like pizza, spaghetti, things like that, but basically you have to find a way to substitute that starch, that pasta, or that dough with an alternative. And there's, people make pizza pies out of cauliflower and Parmesan cheese. Or what I like to do is I get, those big bags of steamed mixed medley and then I use that for like my pasta substitute, and I just pour pasta sauce with the meat and the cheese all over it. And anyways, you can eat a lot of awesome meals. You just have to cut out the high glycemic carbs. So I did that initially, and it's very successful. Then the second thing, when you're ready to kick it into the next gear, when you start to have diminished returns or whatever your timeline's pushing you to kick it into the next gear, you can add in, you stick to low carb, but you add in intermittent fasting. And what intermittent fasting is basically you're cutting your eating window from just whenever you want down to 10, 8, 6, or 4 hours in a day. So like, for example, you might cut out breakfast, and your first meal might be at 2 p.m., and then your last meal might be at 6 or 8 p.m. And what this does is it adds some caloric restriction because you're not eating throughout the entire day, but you can still have very satisfying meals during the window that you're eating. And outside of that window, you can have your coffee, but no cream or sugar or anything like that. So, so in intermittent fasting, you can do it every day, or you can do it a few days a week. It depends on what kind of results you want to get. Okay, so stage 3. Now, my personal feeling about stage 1 and 2 type diets is I think these are probably healthier and easier to stick to longer term. When you start getting into stage 3 and 4 diets, these are not something I would do as a permanent diet choice. It's something that I would do to achieve a specific result in a short amount of time. And I don't think, now again, like I said, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just basing it off the research I've done or my personal experience. I don't think it's unhealthy to do something like this for keto for a short amount of time. You do want to use, they sell test strips at Walmart or whatever. They're keto test strips, and it's a urinalysis, and it measures your ketones. So what that'll tell you is whether you've gotten into ketosis, and it'll also tell you if you get too far into ketosis, which is called ketoacidosis, which you want to avoid because that's very unhealthy. So little disclaimer there, and do your own research and due diligence before you start anything like that. And there are some medical, if you have pre-existing medical conditions, you want to talk to your doctor about doing any of that kind of stuff. The stage 4, which I feel is extreme, again, but also based on the information I found from cardiologists, gastrobypass surgeons, whatever. It's not necessarily unhealthy to do periodically, and actually they say that it can have a ton of medical benefits to your body, which I won't try and explain, but I'll try and link to the videos down below to give you more information on that so you can do your own research. But basically, oh, and by the way, just from a personal note, I tried to do extended fasting without doing a ketogenic diet as well at the same time, and I found it extremely difficult. I was super lethargic, lost all my energy, and it sucked. I failed miserably. What I found is if you go from a ketogenic diet and add in the extended fasting, and then when you're eating, so an extended fast is where you don't eat for 24, 48, or even 72 hours, or some people go longer than that. I never went longer than 72. But on the days you're eating, you stick to a ketogenic diet. And what that does is it keeps your body in ketosis, where it's using ketones to pull energy from your stored energy. And then when you actually try and do an extended fast, like a 72 hours without eating, for example, I know that sounds completely impossible to a lot of you, or dangerous even, but what's amazing about it, and there are a lot of people smarter than me that say there's a lot of health benefits to doing that, but what's amazing about it is when you're already in ketosis and your body's already using ketones to pull energy from your stored fat, you don't get hungry, and food becomes an afterthought. And for someone like me who eats like a horse, and it's hard to not think about food, that was an amazing experience for me. Like trying an extended fast and being in ketosis, it was remarkably easy. And so if there is a secret to this whole thing, that's the secret for you. But again, don't, do your own due diligence, consult medical professionals before you try anything like that. But for me, it worked great. So I just started doing it again because, like I said, I gained my weight back when I went to stay with my folks in Anchorage. And now I got back to work and I did this for a couple weeks, this for a couple weeks, this for a couple weeks, and I'm adding in the intermittent fasting. The extended fast I started 2 days ago, so I haven't eaten for 48 hours right now. And I'm planning to, I'll do an extended fast every week until I get down to 210, and I'll show you those results as well. So yeah, I don't want to take too long on this video, so I'm gonna show you if anybody wants to know about the exercise that I do. I'll share it with you. It's not particularly special or anything like that, but what is special, I feel, about the exercise program that I do is it's like the laziest program you can imagine, because I really only do 10 to 20 minutes. I don't break a sweat. I do one set every hour on the hour throughout my workday, and because I don't really enjoy working out, I do it as a maintenance activity and a mental and physical maintenance health thing. So, but I feel like it works great. The program I've got, it uses progressive overloading, and I'm going to share that with you on future videos. So if you want to see that, if you want to see my progress, hit that subscribe button, that red subscribe button down there. And if you like this video, if you found it helpful for you, give it a thumbs up. All right. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and I'll see you on the next video.